Hello, how are you?
And here we are again.
Here we are again.
Listen, you got the setup, you got the lights. Man, we definitely gonna bring you back
Yeah,
for a Fountain City Mardi
let
Gras.
me tell you, you don't have to give me, just give me one shot,
Oh
and
man,
baby, I'm gone. Okay, you
we
gave me that
alive.
shot,
I love
and I got
this.
my setup together.
Okay,
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 we won't ever have any problem. They won't ever be able to hear.
okay.
We won't ever not be able to hear each
Gotcha.
other. Okay, but I have Dr. Rocky Marsh with me today.
Yeah.
How are
Hey,
you?
listen, I'm happy to be here in good spirits and just happy to have the conversation.
Yes, and thank you for joining us for Two Things Can Be True. This is my baby. This is what I love to do. And this is a part of my Supervoter series. You know,
Mm,
and you know what a supervoter is, right?
correct.
Yes, I know you
Oh,
know. You
I
you
have to
better
know.
know.
I better know.
But and I take pride in being a supervoter, not because it's like some kind of elite thing or a flex.
Hmm.
To me, it is simply that I care. I care about
Correct.
this community. I want to make sure that my voice is heard, and I have things to say.
Yes.
I always got something to say. You know
Well,
that.
Super Bowls is something to be proud of. That shows
Oh yeah.
your engagement, your activity, and that's something that drives how we get things done in our community and our nation. So,
Yes.
we probably need a button. That's what I'm gonna
I,
put.
mean, I want a
Well,
T-shirt.
we need a button. Super
Let me
Bowler.
tell you, we do T-shirts, and I'm
Yeah.
about to. That's my next thing. Is
Okay.
I'm gonna get me some
Okay.
merch.
Serialpreneur. I like it.
Serialpreneur. Just give me a second. It's all gonna
Okay.
come together. Well, I want to thank you again for coming. I know you have been hot on this election trail and this camppaign trail the past few months.
Yeah.
This is our second time
It
sitting down
is.
for an extended
Yeah.
conversation, and I am so excited to get into it. How are you feeling right
You know
now?
what? At this point, what I am happy about is that one is coming to an end, uh, but I have enjoyed the ride. It's
Mhm.
like going to the fair. You have this excitement that you're going to get on a ride, and then you get
Yep.
on the ride, you have all this fun, and it's coming to an end. Like, oh man, I really enjoy it. So I'm really enjoying the engagement with
Mhm.
throughout the community, talking to people, engaging in the conversation, seeing other community and organizations also join in engagement,
Yeah.
which has really just been driving up the topic of conversation of different topics, some that I've thought about, some that I have not.
Hmm.
And it leads to when you get elected, these are the things and the people you need to pay attention to.
For sure, for sure. And when I tell you, I haven't heard anybody describe it as exciting as you are. Most people are like, "I'm tired. I'm just a little fatigued, a little." And I have you felt like that at any time during this election?
You know, to be honest with you, no, but not to brag. It's because it was something I was already doing, and it was something that I
Mm,
already wanted to do.
yes.
So when I get home, I mean, aside from being human, and,
Right.
but am I mentally drained? I'm not. Usually when I come home, I'm reflecting on the conversations that I had today and
Hmm.
looking forward to whom I'm going to see tomorrow
Yes.
and how to best engage them for the best possible outcome. So I really look forward to it. I mean, it's adrenaline to me, to be honest with you.
And you know my favorite person is D. I like you, but I
I
love
got it.
D. Okay,
Listen,
I love
when
D.
people see me, they ask for D. Trust me,
Let me tell you,
it's the routine.
I listened to her interview with Matthew Sanchez,
Yes.
and it was so inspiring. I just loved hearing her perspective on things.
Hmm.
But I'm sure that having a great partner has been instrumental in
It,
you being able to do
I
this.
tell people all the time, I couldn't do this without D.
Hmm.
I tell people, and she says, when we first met, I know we went over our first met, but I
Yes.
tell when we was dating, I said we could be each other.
Okay.
And
I
I tell
like
you,
that.
that's been a
What
daily.
does that mean? Each other's each
So
other.
each other. So everybody needs their person in life
For sure.
that's that the total confidant.
Hmm.
And when we've traveled, our respective paths, you got to have that traveling partner in life.
Yeah.
And I told her sometimes people are a mismatch. They are somebody's person,
Hmm.
but the other person is not their person.
Right. Right.
So it's got to be, as said in the Bible, often quoted, equally yoked.
Equally yoked.
So I told her when we was dating, we said we can be each other, and that's kind of how we live.
How long did that take?
For the
I'm a
dating
single girl.
process,
No, for the we need to be each other's each other. That's the bar.
you know what?
Bars.
I
Okay.
now listen. I'm glad I'm here by myself. Now
Yes.
let me tell the story. It
Uh-huh.
happened like within 3 months. I told her that. Now, it
Okay.
took her longer.
Okay,
to
okay.
accept it.
Well, listen, that's how it should be.
Okay.
Because a lot of times, and I talk about this a lot,
Yeah.
but I talk about how women will sometimes move forward in
Hmm.
relationships much faster than men do. So I think that was a great thing that
Yeah.
you were the one to say, hey, and that also shows her maturity,
Yeah.
and her emotional intelligence to say, I may like somebody, but that doesn't mean that's my person
Hmm.
just because they
Yeah,
didn't.
I know.
You know how women, oh, God told me you was
No,
my
that'll never
husband.
happen. That'll never. You'll never get me on camera admitting that. That never happens.
Oh my goodness. I'm so happy that you have such a great
Yeah.
partner. I'm happy that this is not taking, a toll on you because mental health is so important.
Sure.
I feel like that is definitely a sign of a
Sure.
leader, is someone, and you always seem so grounded.
And
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 what's your secret?
the secret is it's not a secret. When you want to pursue this, you got to have someone that's as equally invested in the
Mm,
outcome of the community. And because we both have our own hopes for the community, it drives us both. So sometimes she'll have an idea to do something, it gets me excited. And sometimes
yeah.
when I say, "Hey, we should do this. We should try to work with these people," she gets excited.
Right.
And
Oh, I love
so
it.
I think she's enjoying being in this space, being supportive in a supportive role
Hmm.
as she goes on her own trail as the chair of the airport commission. I enjoy sitting there and seeing her thrive in her position of
Yes.
leadership,
Hmm.
and so we're each other.
I love that. I
Yeah.
love that. So we're going to jump right in.
Okay.
But I do want to lean a little bit into where you came from and
Sure.
where this heart of service, because one thing I tell people all the time when
Hmm.
if anybody asks me about you, I tell them that number one, you work, baby, you working.
Got
Okay. You
to.
working this campaign trail. Number one. Number two, it is never performative. It is always from your heart, because being a person who likes to do things,
Mm,
I know that you don't work that hard unless you care. Number one,
correct.
because you might do
You
things,
can do it for a little while, but if you don't care to do it,
and also that the seeds that you plant grow. I feel like, listen, my grandmother used to tell us all the time, you can tell a tree by the
hmm,
fruit, okay?
true.
And so, regardless of what obstacles you come against, everything that you have touched in this community has grown. And so, I'm just wondering, like, with this not even be in your home, where does that come from?
So I'm glad you said that, since this is not being my home, because
Hmm.
I get that question often. That asks, why pursue something elected or leadership in a place that you're not from?
Yeah.
And I try to share them that it's not just where you're from, it's where you want to go.
Yes.
But I'll tell them this. Well, one, I spent my most of my adult life in the military,
Hmm.
traveling the globe, different places of the country, Afghanistan, Korea, Fort Bliss, El
What was
Paso,
your
Texas.
MOS?
I was an air traffic controller.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
nice.
so funny that air traffic controller,
And now she's the
the
airport
airport
commissioner.
commission. I like,
It
oh,
sounds
I
like they might
rose
need you.
reverse or something else. Yeah.
Listen, it
So
sounds like they need you. They need you in the tower again, from
listen,
what I heard. Okay.
so being in unfamiliar places is very familiar to me.
Yes.
And I learned that whether overseas, a different city or
Hmm.
state, whatever, you have to learn the terrain if you want to survive. You
Yeah.
have to make friends, you have to make allies, you just have to learn things. So getting indoctrinated in the area wasn't foreign or new to me,
Hmm.
and caring about that area is something just embedded into me from two places.
Hmm.
One, from the military, and not just you're told to do something proactive. It
Right.
kind of happens throughout your habits of just being a soldier, being part of projects,
Hmm.
community outreach service. But one thing, a drill sergeant, people hear drill sergeant all the time, but
Hmm.
good leaders, they will tell you, we had to do something called police call. And I'm just using this as an example.
Yeah.
Police call, when we line up, let's say we've been outside at a park all day or a range, and you must leave that place the same way you found it.
Hmm.
So police call, we lined up shoulder by shoulder, arm by arm, and we would walk the terrain. And if we saw a piece of paper, something that maybe somebody dropped a Burger King bag or whatever, you
Yeah.
had to collect, you had to pick up your trash.
I
So we
love
call
that.
it police call. And the point was, even if you're not doing a police call, as you go about your day, if you see a piece of trash on the ground, if you just leave it there,
Hmm.
what are you saying?
You're saying it's okay. They
It's
tell us that
okay.
as a teacher, like when something happens or when you see a kid out of place,
Yeah,
to walk by that kid and not say anything is like you're letting them know it's okay to not
exactly.
have a pass. It's okay to be out of place.
So if you
Yeah, I
really,
get it.
and so if you really care about your community, your surroundings,
Hmm.
your marriage, your relationships, when you see something out of place,
Yeah.
you do something to help it. Now, the second source that I learned it from was in my own home growing up.
Mm.
Um, so I was very much an athlete. I did everything. I wasn't the top athlete. I just could do almost any sport.
Okay.
Swim team, hockey, baseball,
You
softball,
just trying
football.
everything.
I
You was
just
trying
tried it all.
everything.
I tried it all, and I was not bad. I mean,
Right.
but I could do it all. I just didn't excel superly in anything. No, no, that.
But you were good, and I felt it probably taught you like teamwork
It,
and things like.
also flexibility that I would get calls from different coaches. Hey, can you come? I was a catcher on the baseball team. Can you try this thing? And people just amazed. Like I didn't, just excel, but I could do it on. They were just so. I did the pole vault in high school. I was the only black kid in my high school that did the pole vault. And
Oh
then when we went to
gosh.
track meets, it was me and one other guy
Oh my goodness.
doing the pole vault. They
I
like
was on the
this,
track team for 2 days.
this,
By the
So
way.
with my dad. So when I would place sometimes,
Yeah.
not top or whatever. I didn't go to region, nothing, but I would place. And so my dad would just and I'm speaking this prophetically, but he would just beat it into me to
Mhm.
say, no matter what you do in life, people might have. Well, now we didn't have a lot of money growing up,
Yeah.
meager means as that story goes, but
Hmm.
people are going to have more money than you.
Yep.
They're going to have more affluence than you,
Hmm.
but never. They're going to be smarter than you.
Hmm.
Never let somebody outwork you.
Period.
Never. He
Period.
said, I will forgive a lot of things, but if I go somewhere and let somebody see you get outworked,
Yeah.
we're going to have a problem.
Hmm.
And I felt it a couple of times. He didn't play. He said, you were being lazy on this. The person was better, but you were being lazy.
Yes.
So it just got embedded in me. So it didn't create a competitive spirit, but it just I gotta give it my best.
Yes.
If I'm not going to give it my best, I don't want to do it.
What are you doing it for?
What are you doing it for?
And that's what we want to hear from leaders. I think that's what voters want to hear. I think that is what we need in leadership here. And just seeing everything that you see
Yeah.
in the city government, why? Like why what is it, how are you going to go in there and do things differently?
So, oh, such an excellent question,
Mhm.
especially after the day I had. But we're
Yes.
gonna we're gonna have to have a part two
We're
for
going to
this
part time
because
part two. Okay.
I want to resolve what happened today. But
Okay.
what I can start off by saying is I had a great question yesterday at a forum
Mhm.
actually, and people want to know what you're going to do. They describe a certain problem or challenge, I
Mhm.
would say. And one thing I did learn in the military in problem solving process, doctrine of learning how to resolve conflict,
Mhm.
address complex issues, you have to go through the problem solving process.
Yeah.
And step one is the hardest thing because people will see something out of line, out of just out of the way, and just complain about it.
Yeah.
But the first thing is to identify the problem. So it's important that as everyone is engaged in this process, which is great,
Mhm.
is that when people are going to be placed after May 19th after the election. But
Right.
once you get in the seat, it's very important to be observant.
Mm.
Learn the rules of your position, get get a certain amount of education, and learn the proper way how to address something. Because yes, you can identify a problem, but if you
Mhm.
have not yet learned
Yes.
the legislative way of resolving things,
Mhm.
then you're probably going to do more harm than good.
Yeah.
So one thing I would love to do is one, get educated, indoctrinated,
Mm.
but then two, start looking at the things I can do and I want to do.
Yeah.
Because the seat that I'm running for is at large,
Mhm.
citywide,
Right.
and that means it's a coverall, all of Columbus. But there's a primary counselor for each district.
Mhm.
So one thing I also learned is you never want to step on somebody else's toes. If I become aware of an issue in a particular counselor's district,
Mhm.
one thing I would love to do is aiding the constituent, the resident, but make sure that that primary counselor is aware of that issue and give them the opportunity to resolve it because they are the representation for that district.
Right.
Coverall is a backup.
Hmm.
Not saying that it can't be useful, but definitely want to give a counselor their first right to actually address issues. So, in going into the seat, the thing is look for where I want to make an impact,
Hmm.
then learn how to do that impact, and then come up with step by step how to do it.
Do you have any idea like what areas of the community you think you want to focus on first, or like what is the priority you think we
Oh,
need to do?
listen. So, such a great question, and that's why I need a part two. It's not that I don't know, but this year is a budget year.
Yes. Okay.
So, my goal is to win my election and participate in our budget planning process that
Hmm.
will last for the next 2 years.
Right.
And the point of that is you, and I tell people, I'm a budget analyst. So, that's what I do actually.
I like to look at money too.
Yeah,
Listen, who
you
don't
know,
like to look at
numbers,
money and
commas,
numbers and
baby.
commas? Okay.
What I want to see is a priority of the projects that we want to do. I want to take everything that I've heard and address it. And I tell people, because they often ask, "How are you going to fix this? How are you going to fix it?" One, this is a council, not a singular, position.
Right.
But I want to remind people this takes a council vote on anything to
Hmm.
get things done. And so you want to have buy-in from your other counselors and together come up with a priority list to address our community needs.
Right.
So if we say a particular road in a certain area is done, yes, it's on the list. We got 10 things, we got X amount of dollars, and we're going to get it done. But if you approve a budget in July, but you don't get to it to February, did you really address the problem?
No. Right.
So one of the things I would love to be a part of is a priority order of projects that
Hmm.
addresses the public's needs. And the best way to do that is make sure that their priority projects or whatever it is gets included into a budget. Because I tell people all the time, if it ain't in the budget, don't it may not get done.
It's not going to get
It's
done.
not going to get done.
Because if I remember last night at the forum, that was one thing they talked about, that crime prevention money and
Yes.
how it was given the budget of 2 million. However, that has never been given
Never
out.
came to fruition. So
Right.
the goal was to get to two
To get
million,
to 2 million.
and
Okay.
so several years it was at 750K, and
Hmm.
then last year it was at 1 million. But the goal was to get to 2 million. And the thing is, that has to be a fight.
Right.
Somebody has to advocate for that. Somebody
Yes.
has to champion. It's actually called champion it
Hmm.
on council, and that's what you want on council for certain issues. Usually, somebody they call it a lead or they call it a sponsor or
Okay.
sponsor a thing, but you want to champion somebody who's going to speak up for that particular issue.
Right. And what are some issues you think that need to be spoken up for at this particular juncture of the
So
city,
I want to be
besides the budget?
sure, sure, but I tell you, I believe 50% of issues could be solved with not two things: getting a particular issue or a challenge or something addressed inside a budget, a line item listed. We
Hmm.
are going to do this because that's the legal um, defense for getting something done. If it's not in the budget, you can't say get it done. But if it
Right.
is in the budget, you must get it done.
Right.
So number two, one is get it into budget. Number two is get it prioritized when it
Mm.
happens,
Okay.
so that it's not in jeopardy of not getting done or something like that. So that's the two things. But as far as areas, I would love to be part of bringing our city up to code and technology of
Mm.
certain aspects.
Yes.
I feel, and people say this about Columbus all the time. I love Columbus, I really do.
Hmm.
But
Me too. I love Columbus.
one of the most challenging things I hear is that people we're far behind in certain things, which is
Mhm.
I agree. I agree with that sentiment
Right.
because when you go to other places of similar size, they have certain things that you can get done, and we live in a city that we have the infrastructure, we have the people, we have the economic that support the same thing that we have in other places, and I
Hmm.
would love to be part of how do we bring that into now, bring
Right.
that into now. And sometimes we just have to basically, it's like an iPhone.
Hmm.
You got to get the update.
Let me. That's what I was going to say. I honestly think, now this is just my opinion. I believe that the missing link is the mindset.
Correct.
The mindset. So we have things. We have city buses, and I
Mm-hmm.
know growing up in New York, or when I was at New York in school and things like that, we rode the city bus. Like there
Hmm.
wasn't school buses. You know, the kids rode the city bus, they rode the train, and it's normal and it's not frowned upon to use if you don't have a car. Before I don't can't get to
Listen,
work, I'm getting on a bus.
if I've lived in Korea for 3 times, I think a
Hmm.
total of 4 years. I've visited Hawaii and Washington D.C. Local transportation, that's the way to go.
That's the way to
The
go.
martyrs, subways, that's the only way you're going to get around. I remember it was a culture shock to me when I went to
Yes,
Korea because I had been on martyrs before, but I'd never been on the subway. I think that was the first time. And I tell you, that's the only way you have to learn
that's
the
the only
routes.
way.
When you change over, you got to learn them colors
Let
on
me
the
tell you.
map.
Imagine being in New York
Yeah.
right out of high school. My dad gave me a map.
Yep.
He gave me some tokens,
There you
and for me
go.
to go up to City College and to sign up for my
There you
classes,
go.
I was gone all day,
Yeah.
and half of that day was on the train,
On the train.
figuring out. Oh, I got to go
If you miss your
eastbound. I got to
stop,
go northbound. Oh, I got to go upstairs to get that.
oh, if you missed
It
your
was
changeover, that's
crazy.
it.
It was
So
crazy.
we really have to look at how do we bring what we want into now.
Hmm.
And I'm gonna say this, forcefully, but I mean it. We can't accept excuses.
Yes.
We it has to end. It can't
Hmm.
be, well, we didn't get that done. We didn't get that done. No. Priority one is get it in the budget. Priority two is get it prioritized. Priority three is no excuses.
No excuses.
Columbus is tired of the excuses for certain things, not everything. They got tolerance. They'll give you grace, and
Hmm.
that's acceptable. But certain things, if let me tell you something. Now, I hope I mean this in a humorous way.
Please, yeah.
People love to say Columbus is we're the number two city in the state.
Oh
We're
yeah,
number two.
we number
We're
two.
number two, size, all this stuff. But I don't want to be the two. I want to be the one.
Right.
And when you are leading, you want to lead in a certain area, then you take the lead. And that
Hmm.
means you put your money where you want to lead at.
Yeah.
If we want a better infrastructure, economic impact, then that's where we need to invest the money. If we want more things for social issues, we have to put money into it because
Hmm.
just hoping it's going to get done or, they're supposed to be doing that. If it's not in the budget, it don't
It
get
doesn't get
done.
done. And so I know a lot of people at these forums, I've been hearing so many
Hmm.
people just upset about potholes,
Sure.
about the traffic
Sure.
redirections and things like that. Can you just speak to how important infrastructure is to infrastructure? I don't think I said that right, but infrastructure is to a city like Columbus and for its growth. Because I feel like people are arguing and upset about it, but they don't understand it's a necessary
Yeah.
thing.
So one thing, and I'm gonna talk from both sides,
Hmm.
is because I'm a budget analyst that oversees or manages contracts. I can understand the frustration when
Yes.
something takes too long because working the system,
Hmm.
and I don't mean government system, but the contract system is complex
Yes.
and it takes time. And what sometimes many people may not know is when it's not just work because these contractors don't just have this stuff sitting on the truck.
Hmm.
Sometimes they have to purchase materials. Sometimes it's a issue in transit.
Which is
Sometimes,
a nightmare right now,
yeah,
by the way.
I was about to get to that.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's short. The price of it went up.
Hmm.
So for the contractor to agree to do it for this amount, however, the cost has skyrocketed or something since
Right.
then, and now they either have to find a different way to do it. Sometimes the delays is just contractual. It's not people not doing their jobs.
Right.
However, I will play devil's advocate and ask that council that we be engaged with
Yes.
our contracting office. How can we supplement
Hmm.
the project for the betterment of the community?
Okay,
So
that's a great idea.
yeah,
Yeah.
now as far as like potholes, I definitely understand that.
Because
But this is part of what we got to prioritize. If we
yeah.
have a work order list, and I deal with this in the military so
Hmm.
often. If you have a work order list, okay, so department when they go in today, what's on the list?
Yeah.
If something's been there for 20 days, how long has these work orders been on there?
Before we start asking
Yeah,
questions. Yeah.
if there's a pothole that's been there for a week and it's been called in, what is and that's when we go back to problem solving, asking the
Hmm.
right questions. How can when something comes in, get called in, reported, what's the timeline from when it gets reported,
Yeah.
called in, actioned, and completed? Simple. Just
And
find
that's
a
the way
timeline.
to have those timelines and to be tracking things.
And ask, I think people don't know this often, but
Hmm.
go ask the department, how could we make your job easier?
Yes.
What could help get this done faster, be more productive? And usually, if you go ask the workers who do the work, they'll
Hmm.
tell you,
Oh,
hey,
every time.
we need
Every
we
time.
need a better truck. The
Yes.
truck that we have is 20 years old. The other cities have a truck that does this in half the time,
Hmm.
or we need more people, or you just never know. And if you ask them, they'll tell you the answers. They're probably like, oh man, that's all we need to do.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing you saying is that what's really important is like who's at the table, not just that we come together at the table, but also what voices are at the table
And engage
and
leadership.
engage
You
leadership.
got to engage. You can't just wait for city council and
Hmm.
wait for somebody to come give a report or just taking these complaints. You really have to call people up to council and ask these same questions in council. Have the department answer these same questions
Yes.
and just give them direction. We would like you to reduce a call from X amount of days to X or whatever days is. You just
Hmm.
have to give them direction. Then tell us how you can meet that or what you need to meet your goals. We have to empower our departments and our people to better serve our community. So I
Yes.
think that's the best way. We have to empower our department. Our job is not to solve everything,
Right.
but to empower our department heads, department leads, and staff how to get the job done.
I'm glad you said that because I really feel like you all, like the city council, takes a lot of heat of you should have done this and you should have done
Mhm.
that, when really it is a liaison kind of
Correct.
is oversight liaison, and budget
Correct.
approval, making sure the funds are being placed where they need to. And I do want to switch gears just a
Sure.
little bit because we were talking about the construction,
Hmm.
but I think a lot of South Columbus, because that's where I live in District 3.
Okay.
Um,
Shout out three.
Shout out District 3.
Okay.
Okay. But one thing that I've heard people talk about, and one thing I'm concerned as a homeowner in
Hmm.
that area, is the exit that's coming and the opportunities
Hmm.
that, having that extra exit, because
Hmm.
again, infrastructure, right?
Sure.
So I feel like a lot of people are in a position of, what are the economic plans for the area.
Hmm.
And I heard a young man today. I'm so sorry that I can't. I may put his comments in here. He was at City Council today.
Talking about Joshua Brumfield.
Yes,
I
yes.
know him well. I
Hmm.
loved his comments.
I loved his. I
So,
said he is on point. Finally, somebody there.
so listen. Let
Yes.
me tell you. I hope I can share the story,
Hmm.
but this is something. His exact comment is something that I have offered to Columbus before,
Okay.
uh, partially based off a conversation with him. So
Hmm.
the conversation might be a year and a half old. Is that one thing I would love to see? Large projects.
Yes.
One portion of that's given to local talent,
Yes.
local entrepreneurs, and reserving a certain amount, just like Joshua said,
Mm.
to smaller businesses, to minority, women-owned, veteran-owned businesses.
Mhm.
If I mean, I hate to echo what he's saying, but I've listened to him and I agree with him.
Yes,
If
I do
we're not
too.
creating these projects that are going to benefit the local residents,
Hmm.
then it's a wash.
Yes.
It's a wash.
It's literally gentrification, because what happens is just that we've seen in other neighborhoods here in Columbus where things are improved,
Hmm.
but then the prices shoot up. The people who were
Correct.
historically there can no longer afford to live there, and next thing you know, it is a whole new
Correct.
situation. And I'm sorry, but there's not many more places that people in South Columbus can
Yeah.
go.
So
So,
one of the examples that when I had a chance to had a conversation, I'll give you an example. Like let's say you building a new housing area.
hmm.
So if you or housing project, it don't necessarily be homes, but it can be commercial, residential. This can be mixed. But if you have a large project, and you have to look at the contractual contracts that come along with it. But nonetheless,
Hmm.
by looking at it with imagination, if you have this large project, okay, the overall goal is to reform X amount of square footage of property in Columbus, Georgia.
Hmm.
Of the overall project, okay, get this company to do this part of the project, this company to do that project, this person or this company to do, and you can put somebody over the entire project, but let's give this portion of it, this which is how contracts work anyway.
Right.
There's
That's what I was gonna say.
yeah,
That's
that's
how.
somebody to do the
Yes.
electrician. That's somebody, but give something to a local business,
Yes.
and that will help them out. And I would just make a more sustained process that when it's like the federal, and the federal government does a great job at this.
Mhm.
When they award contracts to companies, and they say certain amount of percentage of your contract must include minority owned. They have some parameters to ensure it remains a fair, equitable process that benefits all. And
Right.
we could, and I believe should, adopt a similar policy.
And I think when I think about the plan that he was saying, I love to hear. I think it is definitely where we
Hmm.
need to get. But the realist in me is saying that there are a lot of Black businesses and minority businesses, and a lot of them are not structured properly to apply for these kind of things. They either don't have the capital to even,
Hmm.
begin a big job like that. What are some things that the city can do
Okay,
to help these
amazing
businesses
question.
get there?
One, we need more businesses registered as a contractor
Hmm.
they need to register, because a lot of times the
Yeah.
city does not know these businesses are in operation in the city,
Yeah.
which is why one year last year actually that I asked for a new business week where someone from the contractor office came by and gave a class
Hmm.
how to be a vendor, that's what it's called, with Columbus, Georgia.
Yes.
So the first thing is, no matter what your business is, register the business so that when they have the need,
Hmm.
they can reach out to this slew of available businesses. So
Right.
that's number one, that I would love to be more of an outreach effort, leading the effort to get more businesses registered as a vendor.
Hmm.
Okay, that's number one. Number two, I just drew a blank because I was on the road. I couldn't
Yeah.
wait for you to ask that question. I
So,
get so excited. But we definitely want. When they are registered as a vendor, uh, we the one thing that they also need, some projects they can't take because the liability insurance required to take on
yes.
certain is so high,
Hi.
which is why you need the larger businesses to take the liability, and you need the smaller business who have a lower threshold liability for the. So you have to break it up.
Yes.
So that's you have to champion and lead that effort, and council has to apply pressure to our city departments to make it happen. That's really what it is that we have to apply pressure for the things that we want to have. And you need enough people
Hmm.
on council to be applying the same pressure, because one lone counselor may not have a voice loud enough to get it done.
Right.
But you need, and this is why people being engaged in election should not just focus on one election.
Yeah.
The whole slate is important. You need it.
You
You
gotta
need
have
to.
the right players in
You
place.
got to have everybody.
Yes. It's
So
every 2 years is draft
yeah,
year. We
there
gotta
you
we
go.
got we got
Eventually,
look
you
at
got
our
to get your
team.
top five in
We
there.
got to get our
You
teams
got to
in
get
there
your five in there.
for sure. And another thing I loved about what he talked about was not just the the building part, but also the ongoing upkeep as far
Correct.
as those
He
contracts for
mentioned
cleaning,
staffing,
staffing.
cleaning,
I was
right?
like, yes, yes, yes,
Because
yes,
that's the
yes.
sustained economic impact that you want when you have to
Right.
maintain this facility. And contract, this was the part that I got excited about,
Hmm.
is that that's how the uh, city does a lot of business, through contract. They
Yes.
contract with somebody to do this, and that's what we should be more investing in.
Hmm.
That strengthen, in my opinion, strengthen our connection to the community and the business community
Yes.
when we need something, instead of trying to get it done ourselves, just like potholes.
Hmm.
Why can't we look for a company, a
That
local
can
company that can do it?
going for the
And
little
you know
stuff in
what?
there.
We are half staff. The office got sick.
Yes.
We got 5 people that are going to be out today. Who can we call to do it, so long as it meets the standard of the
Hmm.
work get
Yes.
done? And that's what I mean. We have to be imaginative about how we do business in Columbus.
And that's exactly why I just feel like it is time for us to reevaluate
Yes.
leadership, because we need people who are thinking, who are truly thinking about how to make things better, not just worried about defending what has been done,
Sure.
because at some point you have to turn the page. Okay, you don't know what you don't know, and
Yeah.
so maybe you were doing the best you can, but as more people give ideas, I think it is very important for leadership to listen.
So, and I'm going to take the lead on another topic that
Okay,
I get asked often
please.
is what do you actually, I shared this on Matthew Sanchez. It got a lot of traction. So I'm going to revisit the
Okay,
conversation
please come on.
because he often I'm asked, what do you think the biggest challenge or one of the biggest challenges? And I told him it's
Yeah.
actually, in my opinion, a tie between economic impact
Hmm.
and talent retention. I think I might have
Yes,
mentioned that to you before.
we've talked about that. Yeah.
When high school students and college kids, when they graduate, they're
Hmm.
leaving or they're looking to leave. And I think the disservice or the harm or damage, what's a loss to city,
Hmm.
is you start losing those fresh ideas, those
Yes.
innovations, those new ways of approach to problem solving, to approach. You lose that.
Hmm.
And that's what's the biggest loss to the city is when we don't retain talent, we lose out on their imagination, how they may see the world. They might see the world and
Yes.
just it's totally different. That's a benefit to the community, but we lose that when we don't retain
And it ties into something I learned as a manager too, which is when I worked for the illustrious Waffle
it.
House.
Okay.
Okay, so after
Listen,
listen,
listen. I'm Waffle House 1440. Okay, in North Columbus.
North Columbus,
Yeah,
yes.
that's my store.
Okay, that's my girl. Let me see who's there. Oh gosh,
Miss Cassie.
Miss Cassie. Oh, Miss Cassie. Miss Cassie is
She's
amazing.
a gem.
Miss Cassie, I've known Miss Cassie since I was a customer on
Okay.
Warm Springs, right over on
Wow.
Manchester when I
Listen,
worked at Warm Springs Road, Blue
I used
Cross.
my other favorite spots. As soon as you get off on Bit of Vista, I know the road is messed up right
Uh
now.
huh.
That was my one, the other one.
On Buena Vista, that
Yeah,
used to be one of my stores.
and
Yep.
then I started because it was on the way to work, and then
You
the one,
like it?
yeah, and then the one off
Okay.
Manchester
People
before they
wouldn't eat
closed
there.
it.
Look, people wouldn't eat there before.
I listen,
That was one of my stores. Yes.
it was my favorite. But shout out to Miss Cassie.
Shout out Miss Cassie and
Uh,
Danielle. Love you,
yeah,
girl. That's her daughter. She's
okay,
the
but you
HR.
learned as a
Mhm.
manager. I'm sorry, I got off track.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine. I can talk about Waffle House all day.
Okay,
I'm serious. Because it is a very interesting story. I'll tell you guys about it one day. But I was going to say, as a manager, you learn that turnover is your big. People
mm,
think, oh, I need to train people. I need to, but that turnover, you're buying new
mm-hmm.
uniforms, you're training more people. Same thing with the city.
Yeah,
You're giving out scholarships,
mm-hmm.
organizations raising money, sending kids to college, and then other cities benefit from it. So that retention
Ooh,
is
it's a big
crazy.
time.
It's big time.
Listen,
Yeah.
I looked at a number from the last 5 years of graduating classes from CSU and Columbus Tech,
Hmm.
and the rate was high.
Yes.
Our retention rate is like 30%. I was like,
Mm,
that's not good.
that's not
And I
great.
would love over the next 5 to 10 years increase our retention rate of about to 50%. One, not only just retaining the people who are from Columbus,
Hmm.
but retaining people who come here
Yes.
for school education and just they're just leaving.
Yes.
Those are the time because they've lived in other areas. So they're gonna not only have they lived here for school,
Hmm.
now they bring with them the ideas of something else that they've seen and they can
Yes.
mix the two and we can benefit from it. So that's what I would love to just work on retaining that.
And I feel like I see that. I always call it when I'm talking to my friends, I'm like, y'all just don't understand. There's a whole new Columbus.
Mm-hmm.
Because one thing I do know at your events is that there a lot of times there's a lot of people there, not a lot of people that I know. And
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of people in Columbus. I've been here a long time. And so what I know is that that means there's a whole population of people that I probably don't interact
Yeah.
with on the day to day that are living very similar lives.
Yes.
They are, professionals, they're working, they have families, empty nesters, all of that. And I feel like at some level it is time to tap into that
Gotta tap
transplant
into it.
community
Yes.
and involve them and things. So I think that's important. As we talk about these programs and the contracting and things like that, I'm going to say something that's a little unpopular, but I'm going
Okay.
to say it, not you.
Okay.
And when I look at things like even like Choose Columbus,
Mm-hmm.
the diversity on these the Dragonfly Trail,
Mm-hmm.
all of these big projects. Why do you think the diversity is not where it needs to be when we look at these organizations being created?
Because the people selecting people to be on it is not as diverse as it could be.
Right.
And one of the responsibilities of a council is to nominate people to fill these committees and boards.
Mhm.
We have a lot of committee boards, that are not filled to the full capacity.
Yes.
And so now some of the boards, they do have a requirement, like to be on certain, you got to live in a certain district because of how the makeup is. Maybe the board say it needs one person from each district.
Yes.
Well, if there's someone already from your district serving, that means you can't be nominated to that particular board. So I would always recommend serve on a board that you fit in. But that's number one, is that you need a diverse leadership to appoint a diverse to diversify your committee boards. Because when people only see certain faces, certain people doing, they think, oh, that's just for them. But it's really for everybody. But everybody has to be engaged and involved in it as well.
So how do citizens go about if they are interested in being on these boards? What is the process?
So great question. So basically, you really can just go to the CCG, the website, and they literally under the secretary's link, it literally has city boards.
Okay.
And you can go and you can scroll down and look at all the boards. And if I think you can preview, click, tap, and it'll show you what are the requirements of the board. This board does this, and it'll show you all the board members, their term dates, when it's renewed, whatever. And then basically, if you look through all of them, you can say, okay, well, I wanted to be on this because that was my case.
Right.
Before I became a member of crime prevention, there was another board that I wanted to be on, but I didn't meet the requirements. So I found crime prevention, which is still a great board to be on. But you learn about financing and how the city works, which is the point. You get to serve and you get to learn.
Yes.
So I would ask people to go to the website and look at all the boards and sign up for one. You can actually email the secretary, say, hey, I am interested in being on this board. The secretary would probably email you back, say which district you live in, and bring it to council and say, or bring it to a counselor. Counselor ABC, whatever, we have a constituent who lives in the area who's interested.
Yes.
Would you, care to sponsor them? And that's how you can start doing it.
And that's all you have to do.
That's all you have to do. But, as a counselor, that would be my role. If I had a company, I'm not going to leave a position unfilled.
Right.
Make an effort to get the positions filled.
Yes. Okay. And so as far as I think I want to switch gears now a little bit. Some other things I'm trying to remember. Oh, the housing. That's what I want to talk about. Housing. So again, in South Columbus, we talked about the business aspect of it, but there are also people who live there. And one question I thought was a very good question at one of the forums we were at, but I don't think it was yours, so I'll ask you about it. But they were asking about the possible gentrification. When we talk about blight and talk about these structures and people not taking care of these properties, the reality is when people hear things like, oh, we need to enforce the codes, they start thinking about pushing out. But what about the people that maybe you've inherited a house and you might be a young family and you're barely making ends meet in your own home. So of course, paying taxes on this home that you can't even live in is, probably just outside the budget. What do you think are some things that the city could do to help those kind of situations? Because every tax problem, every abandoned property, I don't believe is someone who's just, I don't care. I'm just going to let it go.
The first thing I would say is we have to be honest with people and tell people something might be a problem we can fix, but it's not a quick fix. It's not. And I'll tell you, one of the bigger challenges is one, sometimes we just don't communicate enough and explaining people the process and what's really at play. Let's take a property that is not very well maintained. Okay, we want it done. We want the owner to give up. We want to do something. Well, legal rules of ownership protect the homeowner because we live in Georgia.
Okay.
And there are a lot of homeowner rights. So legally, there are some things you cannot do to a certain time frame. Even if code goes by into enforcement, at the most part, they give a citation that comes in the mail, whatever, and it just keep rolling up. Let's say they keep going by, citations building up. So when it's time to pay taxes, the taxes may be higher. There might be a lien on the house, but there's still homeowner protective rights for the homeowner. So while code might go out there and issue the citation, there's a limit to what they can do because Georgia protects the homeowner for just getting kicked out your house or getting evicted or just taking ownership. And
For
but
sure.
but but I think communication is not giving enough to do that. So I've taken, and just to share, so I ran into that challenge because I was part of a community cleanup program. And there were times when we got volunteers. Hey, this particular property, it don't necessarily have to be a home, it's just a property.
Yeah.
It got a lot of trash on it. We want to go on
Help 'em out.
here, whatever. However, that's a private owned property. And until we have permission to go onto said
Wow.
property, it don't care if it's an old couch in there, we don't have permission and we cannot go onto said property. So I remember this one time we collected all this trash and tried to get a trash truck to come pick it up. But we had to move the trash to a place where the public trash can could go because the place where we built the trash was private owned property.
Private owned property.
And
Wow.
and sometimes we just we have to communicate because sometimes it's the issue is just it's complex. But I think people will accept it. They might not like it, but I think they accept it if you informed enough and then articulate it well enough for understanding. Still might not like it, but at least they understand.
I guess that's what I'm wondering too, is that as we start seeing things improve around the area, we know that some of the neighborhoods there are in need of, some upkeep, some work.
Sure.
So I guess as the city, is there anything that the city can do from your knowledge that could actually help those homeowners who maybe they just can't, like it's not they don't want to, but they can't, or either, they would want to if they knew, but no one's outreaching. The only outreach we're doing is citations, and that is like you said, it's just a round and round circle.
See, this is where imagination comes into play. Has anyone contacted the homeowner and asked them what are their plans for the home other than telling them what's wrong? What are your plans for the home? Are there, and then invite investors, people to come in or whatever. Is there anyone looking to do certain projects? Sometimes the next evolution is right underneath a rock. But if you talk to a few more people, the idea may like, oh, wait a minute. We remember somebody wanted to do this with but that whatever that idea requires to be in a commercial property or a residential. Oh, look at here. We got somebody with a residential who does not have any long-term plans for the home. So I think it's important to be having as many conversations as possible. But to your point, this is where again we empower certain departments that are actually invested in that. It's not that the city council had to go make all these phone calls. They can make a few.
Yes.
However, do we have a department already that could be doing it? And we do. We have a couple of departments who could take lead on this. It might be complex and it might be arduous, but would it be worth it? The answer is yes.
I know. I've also heard people talk about how the beautification of Columbus is also directly impacted. It directly impacts crime and crime prevention. The more that we keep these areas up, the upkeep done, it just helps our crime prevention. What do you think are the biggest concerns for crime prevention, or some areas that you think need to be addressed? Within the first
I think
100 days.
I think to build confidence in their community. I think if they see us leaders, the city, somehow investing in a particular area, I think it builds confidence of local residents, of people passerby. And they say, you know what, that neighborhood looks like it's well maintained. I like this area. And they don't know anything about the area, but it looks well maintained. But when it's not. So any area that has several homes in a row or something, then it would cause me to, which I have. I personally have driven I remember my church is Allen Temple AME, located at 848 Washington Avenue. And when I drive to church every Sunday, there are about 2 blocks where there are about 3 or 4 homes that do not appear to be occupied. And so me and the wife one day, we personally looked them up and found that they are owned. They are in the process of doing something. That's another thing. When you think you have a solution, like, oh, I want to reach out to them, they either under contract, they under some kind of thing where you can't do anything to them. And I hate to say, I can't proceed further like I want to, but
Hmm.
sometimes you reach an end with a particular pursuit. But to the main point of your question, you just got to be looking for the opportunities. When you see things, how to boost confidence,
Hmm.
you got to do as much. We have to do as much as we can. And I tell you what, I might not know the answer, but I know we have to do more.
Exactly. Absolutely. We definitely need to do more because I feel like every time we take a couple of steps forward, something
Yeah.
happens and it seems like we get pushed
And
back.
we have to try something different, new.
Yeah.
And when if I make a suggestion
Hmm.
and somebody say, this is the thing that burns me up. Well, we've always done it.
Oh, I hate that. I hate
If
that
I hear
response.
that one
I
more
hate that
time,
response.
that just tells me we're not using imagination,
Mhm.
and we have to try something different. And even if it doesn't work, we can at least it'll show the public, hey, we tried. We
Yes.
tried something different. It didn't work, so we're going to look at something else.
I think one of the biggest travesties, being a military town, that we see here in Columbus is the homeless issue,
Hmm.
especially homeless vets. I feel like that is just the worst thing ever, that you offered your life for service and the country you
Hmm.
committed to can't even ensure there is a roof
Yes.
over your head um, throughout your life. I feel like we should be making sure that all vets
Sure.
are homed if
Sure.
they want to be. And people talk about people being voluntarily homeless, but I feel like that is even a mental health issue. A lot of times it's not somebody just saying, hey, I just want to.
Well, let me not necessarily push back on what you're saying, but
Hmm.
let me offer that I personally know that's true to a certain aspect. I unfortunately I know a few
Hmm.
people who have served who choose,
To
and to my knowledge, they are well in mind, and they choose not to be housed.
yeah.
Now, some of them I believe do have a challenge,
Hmm.
but some do not.
They just choose to, and I
They
guess
choose
so. I
to.
see it on TikTok. All the people, oh, I'm gonna live in my car,
And
and they vlog from
people,
their
that's a
car.
real thing. Some
It's a
people
real
are,
thing.
and as we want to protect life, we
Hmm.
also have to preserve people's right to life,
Yes.
because some people are choosing to live a certain way. Now, when it infringes on someone else's property or other, like, then I understand but that situation does exist. I wish, one, after serving myself,
Hmm.
it anytime it comes with a veteran, that always just it makes me want to find a way
Yeah.
forward to help my fellow brothers and sisters who serve honorably, and I thank them all for their service. I would, um, in the umbrella of conversation about homeless.
That's where I was going. Yes,
So
I didn't
one,
get there, but I
no,
was.
no, no, I got you.
I said,
I'm
"Let me
with you.
land," but I did
I'm with
land.
you. One thing
Okay.
that I actually have heard and I have
Yeah.
seen in other cities, actually, when uh, well, candidate Keisha Lance Bottoms visited, former Atlanta mayor,
Hmm.
one thing I asked her specifically, is there anything that when you was mayor of Atlanta and dealing with homeless, was there anything that you did that maybe Columbus could glean from and learn from?
It's a great
Specifically,
question.
yes. So one thing that I've seen other large cities of our size do,
Hmm.
they've created these centers, community centers,
Hmm.
where people could come during the day, uh, not, just be housed,
Yes,
just just be
you're not
cared
in the
on. Not,
elements. Yeah.
yeah, exactly, and but it has to be welcoming. You
Hmm.
can't create this facility or create some space, and then it's people want to feel like they have control over their life,
Yes.
and if you don't, they're going to go choose to be where they have control over their life. So I'm in favor, would love to look at a plan
Hmm.
in certain areas where there's a facility that if they want to, they can seek medical treatment, evaluation, at least get out of the elements. Every winter
Hmm.
we have different churches that volunteer the facility as a warming facility,
Yes.
which is great. Humanitarian, I
We
love
need
it.
it. Yeah.
Is there more we can do where we are doing more of that humanitarian effort year round, and not just when it's cold outside, when it's
Hmm.
hot outside, when it's raining, when it's extreme weather? People still here.
Yeah.
People still here.
So we've talked about the homeless. We've talked about the economic development here in Columbus. We've touched on crime prevention. What are some other things that you've heard, and or what do you think is another issue that is a top issue with the constituents that you talk to?
So I talk to a lot of young people. A
Yeah.
lot of young people, actually in the same conversation I had with Matthew,
Mhm.
is a lot of Gen Xers and Gen Z. They entertainment,
Yes.
entertainment. I have a mixed feeling about that
Me
because
too.
because I understand where they're coming
I'm
from.
like, what do you want to do?
The
What is
thing
it
is,
that you
see,
what is it that you want to do?
I,
Because I'm
I,
having a ball.
listen.
Listen, I'm having a
You
ball
have to
here.
learn how to make fun for yourself.
Right.
I think it's a combination of frustration will keep seeing the same thing and they want to experience something new. I
Yes.
don't think it's that, oh, I want to go skydiving. We can't go skydiving here.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like running, even though they run up to the street up Atlanta and go do the
All day
same
long
thing that they could do in
in
Columbus,
Columbus.
but in Atlanta or somewhere else. I don't want to give Atlanta too much credit, but
Right.
in other places, I think sometimes the experience is what drawing them there, which is why we have to create a more engaging, involved community where people are experiencing stuff and they love, and they say, you know what, I love my city. I
Yeah.
can do this, I can do that, I can do that. And we have to be more imaginative to all groups of people that are
Mm-hmm.
here, not just a few who want to go do this specific thing. And that's
Mm-hmm.
great that we have that,
Yeah.
but not everybody wants to do that. What we have other large groups of people that might want to do something. I love the concerts when they come here. One thing
Mm-hmm.
I wish, and this is okay. So if I was mayor for one day and I had the power to pen, I could do.
Yeah.
I would create a large fairground
Okay. Yes.
that's not owned by the city.
Mm.
Instead, a private owner owns it, and um, organizers, event planners, they can rent it all whenever they want to
Right.
for larger concerts, for different things instead of everything owned by the city. I think
Why?
sometimes,
What do you think is the problem with the city owning the civic center when it comes to entertainment?
well, when it's owned by the city takes on a lot of liability, a
Mm-hmm.
lot of requirements, and one of the biggest challenges that I wish was relooked at is sometimes when you use a city property, it comes with the requirement to use their caterer,
Mm.
do or there it is.
Yes. Yes.
And listen, I come from a place where we have a large fairground,
Mm-hmm.
and there are multiple events that are held there every year. A couple of them out of 10. Whoever the organizer is rents the place.
Right.
They charge a fee, whatever, and we call it cabaret.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't see it here, but have you ever heard of cabaret?
Is it like where they're singing and
No, no,
dancing?
no, no,
Oh,
no.
what do you
That's
mean
not.
cabaret?
So, okay, I'm glad we're talking about this.
But
So, if
right.
you've never seen this or never heard of this is sit back.
Okay.
So in cabaret, I tell you what,
What?
y'all gonna hear this. Frankie's about to get a personal invite to go to Mobile, Alabama.
Oh gosh, here we go to
For,
Mobile. Okay, we're going to
well,
Mobile.
I'm taking you to the place where this thing is about to describe. Okay,
Okay, okay.
shout out to Mobile.
I have not been to Mobile probably in over 30
It's
or
time
40
for you to
years.
go
Yeah,
back. So I'm gonna
30
take
years.
you to Mobile. This is your personal invite.
Okay.
So in Mobile, I go to a Mardi Gras ball. I know it's Mardi Gras, but we're not talking about Mardi Gras.
We're
We're
not
talking
talking
about
about
the
Mardi
thing,
Gras.
even though it's talking about Mardi Gras.
Okay.
So at said event, which
Mm-hmm.
a lot of the events occur this way, we call it
Yeah.
cabaret style.
Mm-hmm.
You rent the place, right? It has all these tables and chairs. What you do is you rent the tables and the table. You want a table? Da 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 da. Right
Right.
now, you rent it for a cost. However, you rent it for a cost. The person gets to entertain their own party at the table because they get to bring in their own food. So
Oh.
we ain't just bringing in like cold plates. We bringing in crock pots, power, the
Okay.
little what's the thing that the heat up under the food, the
Oh,
little
the
pan.
sternos and
Yeah,
okay.
we got a little picnic thing going on. So this table got this thing, and so people
So
just walk.
tabletop
Oh man,
tailgate like
oh
that,
listen,
like a tailgate,
and
but
it's called
tabletop,
and we call it
and you call it
cabaret
cabaret.
style. Cabaret
That's what I'm
style.
getting. Okay, I like
So
it.
listen, it forces people to bring their own party,
Mm-hmm.
use their own imagination, cater to their own people for their palate, whatever it may be.
Yes,
And so that's just a different. It's just a different way
just a
of
different
doing it,
model, business
and
model.
it
Yeah.
works so well. Now, one, it's a culture of doing it in Mobile.
Mm-hmm.
It could easily be replicated, and when people get to do it, they get so excited. Like they decorate their own table their
Yes.
own way. They bring the Some people know how to cook. Some people
My mom used to do this for church, and
see what I'm
all the
saying. It's the
ladies,
same
they
thing.
would do their own
There
centerpieces,
you
and
go.
it saved money. Like it
That
was like, okay, you invite your people to your
that's
table,
it.
and
And
yeah.
the goal is there might be some
Mm-hmm.
entertainment that everybody's coming to see, but everybody come and get something. And I'm telling you, it's just something different.
It is
So if I
absolutely.
had the power of the pen for one day to create, I would have a large fairground or the facility
Uh huh.
that independent people can come, and then we would do a whole bunch of cabaret style events.
I dare to say we have the space to do
Oh,
that
we
in
got
South
plenty of
Columbus.
space.
Yeah, we have.
I
And I
know the
can
space,
think
but
of
I,
two
I ain't gonna tell
places.
you.
Yeah,
But we won't talk about that
we
on
won't talk
camera. I
about it on
don't know.
camera. I can think of two
Yeah,
places,
okay.
but I don't know if they're even. Yeah,
That's
that's a whole
that's a
nother
whole
thing.
nother count. That's
So let me ask you: when you think about your style
sure.
as the leader, are you
Okay.
think you're going to be more? What was the Detroit councilman Mays, or are you going to be more
Oh,
Obama? I love
you
him.
know what? I think I'm gonna be a mixture, and I'm glad you mentioned those two people because when you want to be better in life, you
Hmm.
start looking at people that have. I would like to be more like that.
Yes.
So the Detroit mayor, Obama, of course, he keeps a cool head when he communicates. I
Yeah.
really appreciate that. I also like Birmingham's mayor.
Oh yeah, I
I
do
also
too. He's
like
he's very dreamy.
yeah. Oh, so I'm not co-signing on that. I'm
You're
just
not
yeah.
co-signing on
I'm
that.
just a you know.
Listen, that's what I heard. That's what the ladies say. Okay.
I also like there's somebody else that I mentioned, but I watch them remain poised,
Mhm.
informed,
Yes.
and able to connect and communicate. So not only do I am I in the pursuit of this, but I'm also pursuing a better me
Mhm.
that can get to that. I want to be a wealth of knowledge, but I want to inspire somebody else to do the same thing. So I imagine myself being a very participative leader,
Mhm.
engaged, curious to learn things. Because once you learn how something doing,
Mhm.
I develop a skill that I can explain it to somebody else, which I've
Yes.
done several times in my professional career, being an instructor in the military,
Mhm.
to soldiers, to civilians. And so and I excel at that. That's why
Yeah.
I got my doctorate in education, pre-K through 12, not to
Period.
necessarily enter the classroom
Uh huh.
because I get thrilled out of learning and sharing information
Yeah.
like we've been talking about this. A lot of things we talked about tonight is because I had a pursuit for it. I know how to go be a vendor with the city. We've created a class where how to get your business license.
Yes,
With
and
it,
that
because
is needed.
yeah,
Absolutely.
because I could complete a whole business week where
Hmm.
we had different departments come in, teach their respective thing. Because we that's a missing piece of engagement throughout our economic infrastructure. That small businesses are out here, but they're not structured where we can uh, extract the full value of their
Yeah.
potential here in the city. Because one, they're in Russia, and we don't know that they're here.
And I think we're going to end kind of the way we started.
Okay.
What I want to ask you for some
Yeah.
advice you would give to a young person or
Hmm.
anybody who is feeling like their heart is being tugged into leadership because you got it the hard way. Like you
Hmm.
got it going out there working, doing all the things. And I'm sure there were times that, are just, and a lot of people are, like you said,
Hmm.
that's for them. It's not for
Sure.
me. What is some advice you would give to young people who are watching your trajectory, watching other leaders, and feel like, hey, I have something to say too?
So I would first advise them to find somebody that they trust
Hmm.
and really watch them and spend some time with them. I could say the word find a mentor. I think the word is overused,
Yeah,
honestly, because mentor, some people just use it as just a tagline. I'm a mentor.
somebody they know.
You really have to find somebody to trust. And I'll tell you why, because when people come to you with hard news or news you don't want to hear,
Mhm.
I can give you an example. We're going to end on a humorous note.
Okay.
You hear this all the time in drama, like the stepdaddy, trying to tell somebody kids
Hmm.
something. Them ain't your kids, and listen because you haven't been there in their life, or absent parent, not
Yes.
necessarily father. If you've been absent and then you come in after years of being absent and trying to tell somebody, do so, they're like, "Where you been?"
Nobody wants to hear it.
So I would say you have to spend time with somebody because you have to trust somebody
Hmm.
because when people come to you with hard news, you're not going to want to hear it if you don't trust them.
Yeah.
So spend time with people that you trust, and because they will tell you, if they really respect you, they'll tell you when you're doing something wrong. They will direct you in the way that you want to go or that you should go.
Right.
And that's what I tell you. If you find somebody that you can learn from and stick close to them, if you spend time, you'll get in the right direction.
So I'm hearing the quality is being teachable.
You got to be
Yeah, you
teachable.
got it. Definitely have to be teachable, I think, as a leader. What kind of leader can people, the people of Columbus, expect when they elect you as their city
I'm
council?
happy to say they're going to have a very energetic and accessible and invisible leader, which is something that I've always
What do you mean
already
by
been doing.
invisible leader?
Visible,
Visible.
not
Oh, I thought I
invisible.
was about to say invisible. What do you
No, 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 no,
mean?
no.
Okay, visible.
Visible.
Okay, visible leader. Yes.
And I've learned the value of being visible and
Yeah.
being engaged over time, not just before the election season, not just when campaigning, but being visible before, because it makes for a foundation of having a conversation. So when I tell you I'm going to do something, it's not met with skepticism because, oh, you're just saying that right now because you're a candidate.
Right.
But people who have already seen me, they have trust in that. And so I expect that when I win, that people will see a very visible, a very accessible, and a very engaged leader. And I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it.
I love that you because I think about some leaders want to be seen, and it's a whole other thing to be visible.
Correct.
Yeah, and I think that's very important.
Yeah.
Well, we have reached the end of our discussion. Thank you for joining. But you wait, no, you gotta give your last spiel to my viewers and let
I
them
want
know.
your viewers to know that I appreciate them. I do. No matter where, if they're in Muskogee County, Columbus, Georgia, want to give kudos to you for staying on your track. I'm so proud of you. Two things can be true. I really get excited and see you. Your face lights up when you get to do that, and I understand what that is because when you're doing something you love,
you can't
your
help
energy is different.
Your energy is so different. Yes.
Yeah. So I want your viewers to know a few things. One is I'm looking forward to everybody making sure their voter registration is updated by April the 20th.
Monday,
April the 20th. And then make a plan to go vote either during the early vote, which is April the 27th through the May the 15th, and include Saturday and Sundays.
Yes.
And the new location this election cycle in North Columbus.
Wow. Okay.
Which is the North Side Rec Center, co-located with North Side High School.
Okay.
In the same parking lot. So early vote, make a plan, go do it, go get it done. And I'll be on. See, one thing we didn't get to talk about.
We didn't talk about that.
Well, I'm gonna make it quick.
No, go ahead.
I am on the ballot. Did you know I was on the ballot two times?
Two times.
Two times.
Let's talk about that real quick because a lot of people, again, Supervoter don't understand it. That's why I don't even think about it.
So the seat I'm pursuing, the last elected official was the former Miss Judy Thomas, rest in peace. So she vacated the seat prior to the end of her term.
Yes.
And someone was appointed. Well, the appointed term cannot go past an actual election date, which is May the 19th. So on May the 19th, there will be a section, a little small box. It'll say special election.
Special election.
And it will have all the candidates who registered for it, which is all 4 candidates. But that term, special election, will cover from May the 19th through December of this year, 2026. And then the full term, so later on in the ballot, is, it just say
the regular term.
For a regular term, the regular full term, which is January 26th. So I have qualified for both time periods, for both terms, the special election. So that's why I tell people, I'm on your ballot 2 times. I'm working twice as hard. So I tell people, Columbus, Georgia, Muskogee County, be nice, vote Rocky twice, and I'll see you at the polls.
We will see you at the polls. And I hope to see you at the city council.
Oh, I can't wait.
I can't wait. Dr. Rocky Marsh, thank you for joining us on Two Things Can Be True, because 2 things can be true that, wait a minute, I didn't even think about what my 2 things could be true was. See? Oh my gosh. And it was in my mind. And as soon as I started talking, I'm gonna have to put it in, I guess, as a voiceover because I can't think about it right now. 2 things can be true. How would you end that? 2 things can be true.
Well, I already ended by saying 2 things can be true. You can I could be a candidate 2 times over, but that's for my line. That's not for yours. So you're gonna have to come up with that one on your own.
Well, two things can be true, that you can still be deciding on who to vote for, and
Okay.
you can still get yourself registered and make
There
your
you
plan
go.
to vote.
There you
We hope
go.
that you will definitely consider Dr. Rocky Marsh. We'll be talking to other
Sure.
candidates as
Sure.
well as we go throughout this cycle. But, we had to start, and I've been very transparent that,
Yeah,
listen, but I only get one vote. So,
that's true.
I think the purpose of this is to educate people and at
Sure.
least give them a chance to see y'all, because the forums, we
They
don't get to see
No,
people.
and by putting it on your platform, people get to peer through the
Hmm.
other stuff that they don't normally see. This is a real conversation. This is not stage people. I just want y'all to know
It
this
was
ain't.
not. The only thing I had on my notes was a bunch of jibber jabber from notes that I was taking
Yeah,
during, clearly not the notes I needed to be
yeah,
taking, but we made it through because
we
there's
did.
there's authenticity, and
There
where
you
there's
go.
authenticity, there'll always be conversation.
Always,
Always. Okay.
always.
Dr. Rocky Marsh, thank you so
Thanks so much
much.
for having
And
me.
thank you guys for joining us. This is Two Things Can Be True. I'm Frankie Foster, and thank you for listening.
Oh, you had to put on the radio voice for that. That was a good little
That's how I
sign off.
do.